What are we
All
saying?
right, what's up, Investor Nation? We're here at take two. What's up, Investor Nation? We're here at 1539 North 26 with Chris Terrio from iFund Cities and the legend, Sean Pincus from Grid Construction.
What's up, guys?
Say what's up to the camera boys.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up?
So we're coming live today. We're going to talk a little bit about if you're a newer investor. This is a 36-unit building that Sean's building for a local investor here, Logan Kramer. But we're going to talk a little bit about some things you should be thinking about and things you should be talking about if you're working with your GC. So with that, I'm going to kick it off to CT. And Sean, take us through it.
Appreciate it. Sean, thanks for having us, dude.
I don't know.
All right, so a couple questions. If I'm a borrower, investor, how do I know things are going right? You know, if I want to just come in here and make sure the job's being run correctly, show me things that I can look out for.
Okay, cool. So, couple things is like as you look around, we can take a look at the building. First, it's clean, right? The building's fairly clean. You know, the guys are keeping up on cleanliness and job site, like just safety in general. A couple other things are kitchens, like blocking. So this is our kitchen. It's all laid out. You want to make sure you have support for your cabinets and the framing, for your uppers and your lowers. As you walk around, you're going to see just some of the mechanicals in general. There's a spot here. It's like pretty cool to check out. So if you go into it, the big thing for us is like liability down the road is fire safety, fire separation. When you run your mechanicals, you want to be checking up on your contractor that they're doing pre-rock above all your unit separations. So there's a floor above us with units and the floor above that with units. This pre-rock is to prevent fire separation from units. Between a couple other things over here, I see this missed all the time. This is panel edge blocking, so these blocks are designed to basically support the shear wall of the entire building. So I've been in some single family houses that shake in high winds. Today's actually a high wind day, but especially these bigger buildings, but even in smaller buildings, if you're not doing the panel edge blocking, the building will rack back and forth.
Yep.
If you check it out, the entire building as we walk, you'll see, but it's all throughout. So there's a couple things you can kind of do to, you know, framing mechanical wise, take a look at it.
Very cool. Talk to us about some safety measures, I guess, that you kind of look out for when you're building a job site.
You mean safety for like on-site safety?
Yeah.
Okay, so like handrails at staircases, guys wearing hard hats. Obviously, we're not wearing them right now. But, yeah, like making sure your subs are wearing hard hats, making sure the guys that their safety rail is going up all the stairs throughout the building, making sure fall protection's in place. So, you know, before we built this deck, you know, while they're building it, we'd have a piece of wood going across to basically make sure that no one can fall out. Fall protections,
things like that.
openings, windows before they set them, same thing. Because OSHA's #1 like violator or #1 offense is basically fall protection accidents.
So Sean, in a single family house, what wiring are you using, and is there a cost difference between, you know?
You're probably using the same stuff that's in this big building.
Okay.
Like, you know, most of your outlets, your lights are all going to be 14.2. If you're doing electric ranges, heaters, furnaces of that sort, you're going to be anywhere between 12, 10, 8, all the way down to 6.
Because I don't know what was just said, honestly. So what does that mean?
It's just the gauge of wire. So basically,
The copper gauge inside, if I'm not
it's-
correct.
Yeah, the gauge of wire. So you need a thicker gauge. So as you go down in size or down in number, so 14, 12. This is a thicker gauge, even though it's a lower number. But and then that's going to be like an 8 or a 10 because that's powering your range. So things that require
It's for
more
what
voltage.
you're using the wattage for.
Correct.
Right.
So this is usually like a 20 amp circuit. This is.
I knew that. I was just asking for our borrowers that don't know. I obviously knew that.
The costs are not really changing, other than like as you start using the lower gauge wires, like for your ranges, for your furnaces, for your hot water heaters, your costs go up because there's more copper in those lines, and copper right now on the index is up like 40%, so wiring's going up. So those numbers I just gave you are probably inaccurate as of the last 3 minutes.
And maybe comment on that for a lot of guys. So I think a lot of our investors are looking at, and they're used to doing an $80,000 renovation project now. That's costing them 130, 120. Can you talk to them a little bit about the supply chain challenges with lumber, commodities, and kind of what you're seeing?
So, I mean, lumber alone is up 250, 300% for the year. So this 2x4 right here used to cost $3 at Home Depot. Used to cost $3, $4 at the lumber yards. This thing's costing me $13. So you multiply that by an entire building, and you can see a single family house go up by $23,000 to $30,000. That's a lot. That might be all your profit in the deal. So you really got to run these numbers correct. You got to hire the right people to make sure they're right with their numbers.
Sean, are you seeing other builders maybe trying to take shortcuts on lumber because materials are so expensive right now? And like, what risk do that? Obviously, it's a no-brainer, but it poses some serious risk.
Yeah, I don't know if they're cutting corners, but like some of the stuff we were talking about, like the panel edge blocking, like I don't see this on any building, whether lumber was cheap or expensive.
Yeah.
We're doing it on every one of our projects where we can.
So for your basic investor, your newer investor, let's talk a little bit about plumbing, right? I think you got 1.5 standard coming out of a toilet, and can you give them a little bit of kind of standard measurements on what sink, a bathroom,
Yeah. So we have a
bathroom.
bathroom over here. So you mean like measurements from stuff and like
measurements or kind of what they're looking at all these white tubing, like what is this? If I'm a newer investor, what is it?
Yeah. So right here we're looking at obviously vanity, or maybe not obvious, but we're looking at a vanity location. You got your hot and cold with your drain line. All this is tying into the stack, which is venting through your roof assembly. It's draining to your sewer assembly. You have, on the other side of this, actually, this is kind of strange because we're backed up to a laundry, but this is going to be your laundry box. This is for your toilet. If you're measuring things, some stuff I see go wrong is this is not set 12 inches from the wall. You need to rough in 12 inches because your toilets are 12 inch. Some will be roughed at 10 inch. You have to get a special toilet. Or it could be too far away. It starts looking awkward, but you can still get a 14 inch rough. And then your tub. It's usually underneath. When we set the tub, they'll tie in your overflow and your trap and your drain underneath. But yeah, you're gonna have your diverter. So if you're looking around, you're wondering what these things are. That's like a standard bath.
And if I'm gutting a bathroom, give me an estimated cost. Standard fiberglass tub.
So tubs anywhere between 150 and 300 bucks for the tub itself.
Yep.
None of this is labor included. That's like material. So tub, inset. If you're gutting a bathroom, you probably have all this piping in place. You might have to change out some of this stuff for like PEX if it's old copper in some of these older buildings. But toilet, 150 to 300 bucks, depending on what you're doing. Obviously, these things can change. You could spend $1,000 bucks on a toilet.
Sure.
But call it investor friendly. Yeah, 150 to 300 bucks for the tub, 150 to 300 bucks for a toilet. Vanity is really specific, but we usually budget about 600 bucks for the vanity, and that's for the top, mirror, everything included. Cool.
I'm here in the ceiling here, and I'm looking at your HVAC runs, and I see this box that might be a little bit unique to what I've ever seen in any other buildings. Can you talk to us a little bit about your style of HVAC, what you do, how you perform it, and things that the investor should be looking at?
Yeah, right on. So in a multifamily project, that box is really designed, it's a damper, so or a fire damper rather. So basically, if a fire starts in this room, but the duct is going through your bedroom through another assembly, if it heats up enough, smoke and fire get through there, there's a little clip that will burn, close, so then the smoke and the fire don't transfer back in that run, so in that supply. And that's huge for meeting fire code. It's huge for meeting fire separation. You don't always see it. Some inspectors, actually a lot of inspectors, don't always catch it. They cost a lot. That's probably like 80 to 100 bucks per box. So this unit alone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 in here. It's 500 bucks extra just to do that.
So that's an important point, guys. I think everybody wants to talk about cost of a contractor, right? And I want the lowest cost, but do you want the lowest cost or do you want the highest quality or somewhere in between there? I can tell you from my experience, I chimped out on my first couple buildings. I didn't have this relationship with Sean. I wish I did. And years later, I spent more and more money renovating and fixing the houses because I wasn't versed in what Sean's talking about with HVAC, what Sean's talking about with the blocking and the plumbing. So having a contractor that's knowledgeable, that'll take the time, walk the building, help you with design build, he's going to cost a little bit more because he's learned this craft and he's got an expertise that's valuable. So instead of looking at just price, you definitely want to talk to your contractor, build a relationship, make sure they're knowledgeable. Coming to you live, man. Let's go, baby. Brent, holla at him.